March 2024. The Indian Ocean. A U.S. Navy destroyer receives a distress call that will trigger one of the most unusual naval engagements in modern history. The cargo? $4.8 billion in advanced microchips, the kind that power everything from fighter jets to smartphones. The threat? 200 pirates armed with RPGs, assault rifles, and a willingness to burn it all down. Within hours, the ocean itself would be on fire. This is the story of how a handful of sailors protected the technological backbone of the modern world, and why you never heard about it until now. To understand what happened that night, you need to understand what was at stake. The MV Pacific Dynasty, a Liberian-flagged container vessel, was carrying something far more valuable than oil or gold. Stacked in climate-controlled containers were 340 tons of advanced semiconductors, 3-nanometer chips manufactured in Taiwan, bound for California. These weren't consumer electronics. This was military-grade hardware destined for F-35 fighter jets, Virginia-class submarines, and classified defense systems. In 2024, microchips aren't just technology, they're weapons, and whoever controls the supply chain controls the future of warfare. But the Pacific Dynasty had to pass through one of the world's most dangerous maritime corridors, the waters between Somalia and Yemen. Where piracy hadn't died, it had evolved. Modern pirates don't just hijack ships for ransom anymore. They're funded by foreign intelligence services, criminal syndicates, and rogue states hungry for leverage in the global tech war. Intelligence reports later revealed that this wasn't a random attack. Someone knew exactly what that ship was carrying. The U.S. Navy's Fifth Fleet had been tracking increased pirate activity for weeks. The destroyer USS Chung-Hoon, an Arleigh Burke-class warship, was already operating in the region. When the Pacific Dynasty entered contested waters, the Navy made a decision: shadow the cargo ship at a distance, unannounced. They had no idea how close they'd come to losing everything. March 14, 2024, 0347 hours local time. The Pacific Dynasty's bridge crew spots them first. 12 fast-moving contacts on radar, approaching from multiple vectors. Skiffs, small, agile boats favored by Somali pirates. But this time, there are far more than usual. Within minutes, the count rises. 18 boats, then 30, then 50. The captain of the Pacific Dynasty sends out a mayday. The USS Chung-Hoon, 15 nautical miles away, goes to battle stations. Commander Sarah Hendricks, CO of the Chung-Hoon, faces an impossible calculation. The pirate fleet now numbers over 70 boats, carrying an estimated 200 armed men. Her destroyer has a crew of 280, but most are engineers, cooks, medics. Her combat-ready force? Fewer than 40 sailors. The rules of engagement are clear. Protect the cargo ship. Minimize casualties. Avoid international incident. But as the Chung-Hoon closes the distance, the situation deteriorates. The pirates aren't retreating. They're coordinating. At 0412 hours, the first RPG streaks across the water. Not at the destroyer, but at the Pacific Dynasty itself. The pirates aren't trying to board the ship. They're trying to sink it. If they can't steal the cargo, no one gets it. Commander Hendricks makes the call. Warning shots. The destroyer's 25mm chain guns light up the night, stitching lines of tracer fire across the bows of approaching skiffs. Some veer off. Most don't. Then the MH-60 Seahawk helicopter, launched from the Chung-Hoon, arrives overhead. Door gunners engaging targets with precision fire. 3 pirate boats are disabled. 5 more retreat, but 70 boats remain. At 0431 hours, disaster strikes. An RPG impacts the Pacific Dynasty's stern, puncturing a fuel tank. Diesel spills into the ocean. A second RPG, likely a white phosphorus warhead, ignites the slick. Within seconds, the Indian Ocean is burning. Flames race across the surface, encircling the cargo ship. The heat is so intense it warps the metal hull. Sailors aboard the Pacific Dynasty scramble to deploy firefighting foam, but the blaze spreads faster than they can contain it. The microchips, stored in temperature-sensitive containers, are minutes away from catastrophic damage. At $4.8 billion, every second of delay costs millions. Commander Hendricks faces a gut-wrenching choice. Use the destroyer's 5-inch naval gun, devastating firepower that could sink a dozen pirate boats in minutes, or risk collateral damage in crowded shipping lanes, potentially killing civilians. She chooses precision over power. At 0445 hours, a Navy SEAL fast response team, already pre-positioned on the Chung-Hoon, launches in rigid-hulled inflatable boats. Their mission: board the Pacific Dynasty, secure the cargo, and create a defensive perimeter. The SEALs arrive under fire. Pirate boats circle like sharks, but the teams are faster, better trained, and lethally efficient. Within 12 minutes, they establish a secure zone around the burning ship. Meanwhile, the Chung-Hoon's crew deploys an experimental fire suppression system, foam drones that carpet bomb the flames with chemical retardant. It's a last-ditch effort, technology barely out of testing. It works. By 0517 hours, the fire is under control. The pirate fleet, battered, outgunned, and realizing they're facing a U.S. destroyer, finally breaks off. 62 boats flee into Somali waters. 8 are dead in the water, crews surrendered or abandoned. 0 casualties on the American side. The cargo is intact, but the sun rises on a scene that looks like the aftermath of a naval battle from World War II. Burning wreckage, oil slicks stretching for miles, and a container container ships scarred by war. The Pacific Dynasty limped into a secure port in Djibouti under armed escort. Naval investigators swarmed the scene. What they found changed everything. The pirates weren't random opportunists. Forensic analysis of recovered weapons revealed Chinese-manufactured RPGs, encrypted satellite phones, and GPS devices pre-programmed with the Pacific Dynasty's exact route. This wasn't piracy. It was economic sabotage. Within 48 hours, the incident was classified. The Pentagon buried the story under national security protocols. Why? Because acknowledging the attack would reveal just how vulnerable the global microchip supply chain really is. $4.8 billion in semiconductors nearly vanished in a single night. If that shipment had been destroyed, production delays would have cascaded across the defense industry. F-35 production halted. Submarine upgrades delayed. Missile guidance systems grounded. One pirate attack could have crippled American military readiness for months. The Navy quietly upgraded escort protocols for high-value cargo ships. Today, any vessel carrying critical technology through contested waters receives destroyer-level protection, no exceptions. Commander Hendricks received a classified commendation. The SEAL team was awarded Navy Achievement Medals in a closed ceremony. The sailors who fought that night? Most still can't talk about it. But the incident exposed a terrifying truth. America's enemies don't need to sink an aircraft carrier to hurt us. They just need to sink a container ship at the right time, in the right place. The battle for technological supremacy isn't being fought in laboratories. It's being fought on the open ocean by sailors who never expected to face 200 pirates over a cargo of silicon. Today, the microchips from the Pacific Dynasty are installed in fighter jets patrolling the South China Sea. They're in submarines hunting enemy vessels beneath Arctic ice. They're in missile systems defending allied nations. They almost never made it. The men and women of the USS Chung-Hoon didn't fight for glory. They fought for technology most people don't understand, protecting a supply chain most people don't think about. But here's what they understood that night. Modern war isn't just tanks and missiles. It's also container ships and microchips. And the oceans that connect our world are battlefields, whether we acknowledge it or not. Piracy isn't a relic of history. It's evolved into a tool of economic warfare, wielded by nations who understand that in the 21st century, controlling the flow of technology is more powerful than controlling territory. The U.S. Navy stopped 200 pirates that night. But the real enemy, a global system where a single cargo ship carries the future of warfare, and anyone with a fast boat and an RPG can try to take it. The ocean caught fire that night in March. And somewhere, in classified briefing rooms, planners are asking the same question: what happens next time?